can showcase how it works. I suggest that we start with the date selector.
Yeah, okay. Well, to do so, I will deep dive into my profit and loss. Here you see that my date selector has been simplified and is way more easy to use because I can switch from my quarter to my month just in one click, and with my arrows I can change from one period to another. So it's quick and easy.
I really like the date selector, but I can also see the budget is already activated. Can you show us how the budget works?
Yeah, indeed. You might have noticed here I have my budget, and we added it for our accountants to have a clear view on budget on account level. So you can either choose to create a new budget or you choose a budget that was already created. Here in this case, when I add my budget, you directly see that my column with my budget is added next to my actual and is recomputed related to each other.
So now you're working on an annual basis. What if you switch your permits? Because I follow up my budget on a monthly basis.
Yeah, well, I can switch. Maybe I will unfold all so that it's way more visible for everyone. I can switch from year to month easily just by clicking here, and you now have a clear view on everything from one month to another. I will hide lines at 0, so it's way more visible as well. And when I compare from one period to another, you now see that all my months are adapting from yearly to monthly. So it's just dividing it by 12 and then I'm showing it on all my months. Now, something even better is the fact that actually I can change it on the fly because August is not a really good month, but actually October is a really good one because we have a really amazing event. So I will add some figures here. I will remove my comparison in order to show you what is the impact when I go back to my year. You see that now when I change it on my month, but when I go back onto my year, everything is recalculated.
All right. So now that we've seen the budgets, let's talk about the content itself. I already explained the unified chart of account. Can you explain us a little bit why that's such a huge refactoring?
Sure. So no better way to talk about the chart of account than deep diving into the chart of account. I'll show you in my revenue accounts that now you have the possibility to either choose your account on one company or on several companies. And if I deep dive into my account, you'll see that now I have a new mapping here, a mapping tab, in which you have the code related to your company. Now, if I switch now, well, if I add now all my European companies, you see that automatically we have all the codes related to those companies.
Is it me or did we simplify the multi-company selector a little bit?
I know you're right. Indeed now it's way more visible. You can search for a company. You can take all your companies. You can reset or confirm. Here we'll reset, so I'm back onto all my Europeans. It's so much better than before. No reloading screen anymore.
All right. So let's go back to the mapping. How does it work?
Well, as you said, we have a unified chart of account. So that means that you have two options. The first one is having an account and creating a mapping on the fly with the corresponding companies that you have here. And that means that when you create the mapping here, when you will switch to that other company, you will directly see the code related in that local gap.
All right. But that's when you create a new account. What if you add, for example, an entity from scratch? I guess there is already a chart of account existing. Is it a similar way?
No, you're right. Indeed, that's the option number 2. Because indeed, when you install a new company, well, you will have probably some accounts in that company. But for that, we have added the merge option. So you take several accounts like here, you go into the action button, and there you have the merge account.
That seems quite impactful. What if I made some mistakes?
Well, if you made some mistakes, you just go back onto your merge one. Let's say it would be this one. You click on action and you unmerge.
Okay. So why is it that big change? Huh? Is there any specific reason we did that?
Well, the reason is, let's say, simple consolidation.
Okay.
For consolidation, let's dive into our profit and loss again. Now you see that my figures have been adapted. I will remove my budget. And you see that here I'm connected to all my European countries. And maybe I'll take the profit and loss, the regular one. You see that now I have all my revenues related to my all companies. Before, I would have seen one account related to each company. But because now it is a unified chart of account and because we have created that mapping, well, now it is all consolidated in one and only one account.
So when you say consolidation, what about multi-currency?
Yeah, well, the multi-currency is related to the company in which you are connected. Here in this case, I'm connected to Belgium, so I have the Belgian names, the Belgian accounts, and everything is in euro. Now, if I add the USA and I dive in the USA, you see that all my accounts are adapting to my USA accounts with the other names, and that my currency is now in dollars.
So do they use all the same currency exchange rates?
No, the profit and loss is on an average rate.
Okay.
The equity is on a historical rate, and all the others on the closing rate.
All right. So now that we're talking about consolidation, did we add any enhancements in order, let's say, to extract maybe your intercompany accounts, or if you need to report under IFRS, anything that we did over there?
Yeah, we did. So we changed the journal groups into multi-ledger, so that at any time our users understand crystal clear what they are doing and in which ledger they are working. Here I'm in my local gap, but I can change it to consolidation or to IFRS. And I even have the option to unfold now some my journals related to a specific company and to choose for a specific company if I need to.
All right. But here we're on the profit and loss.
Mhm.
Is there anywhere else in Odoo that we made some enhancements for these different gaps?
Yeah, actually we did. We added on the deferred revenue and deferred expense report. Small new feature is the fact that we can group by product category or group by product. And we added some columns as well with the not started, before, later, which enables us to recalculate based on the different ledgers that we have in order to have the perfect figures. Now something more. We also have now the possibility to post assets on different ledgers. So that means that when I will post one asset, I can post it on two different or even more ledgers. Now I'll show you the impact. Here, when I go onto my depreciation schedule, oh, I'm in USA, I need to be in Belgium, I will unfold everything. You directly see all your assets. Now I can group by asset group, and I can even go through my different ledgers in order to see the impact. So here I'm local gap, but if I click on IFRS, you directly see the differences.
All right. So now that we talked about consolidation, I would like to go back to budget management. We saw the financial budget management, but what if you need some more advanced budget management with analytic accounting included?
Okay. Well, for advanced analytic budget, yeah, we added the analytic budget feature. From now on, in Odoo 18, it is possible to create a budget on different analytic distributions. So as you can see here, I have all my plans. So this is the department, this is the cost center, and this is the financial group asset analytics, sorry, in which you will group all your accounts, for example. You also see that I have created a budgeted amount, and you have the achieved and committed. Now, let me show you the impact directly in the reporting. When I go into my budget report, exactly like last year with the analytic report, you can now create the whole structure that you want. So here I added my departments, now I add my financial group, and I will add my cost center. And when I unfold all, I have a direct view on all my budget with my budgeted amount, my committed and achieved just in one screen.
Seems like the possibilities are indeed endless. So one more thing. You talked about the committed. What's that about?
Well, committed is actually the purchase order that you confirmed related to the analytic distribution that you have on your budget.
All right. Can you show it how it works?
Yeah, sure. So I'll go back into my Odoo. I will create a purchase order here. I have actually, as I said, I have a really nice event coming up. So I have some screens and some televisions to buy, and I need a lot of them. And when I add the quantity, well, you directly see that with the new budget management, you have your lines on that are red because I'm above budget.
All right, so that means that we're nearly at the end, I think, but our automated accounting is nearly closed. Can we go to the closing process before we end up?
Yeah, sure. So indeed, we have to close our third quarter. So to do so, I will go into my log dates, and you now see that you can log on different journal types. You have the first one related to my sales, so I'll log September, related to my purchase, and the log tax return. Of course, the log tax return is just like before. You just post your closing entry, and it will be set automatically. When I save it, it's done. But something more. When I go back on it, I go onto my log dates, I can remove some log dates and create an exception just for me or for everyone for a certain period of time, which is so useful, of course, when I'm doing my closing, I made a mistake and I just want to change my figures and everything is done. And also, if I go back on it, I can also revoke my exception. So it's really useful.
All right, so that means that we're really at the end of our presentation.